Hello, in today's video, we'll continue talking about the science of breath. And in particular, we'll talk about the significance of breathing in and breathing out of the right nostril, which is called Pingala Nadi. So what are the characteristics you get when you start breathing in and breathing out of your right nostril? You become more decisive. You have more physical energy in the body. You can take decisions and you can get the task to move. You can get more accomplished in your outside world. In other words, you become more extrovert. Now, what is Nadi? I've explained this in the earlier videos. But see, Nadis are channels. Channels where the prana can flow throughout the body. Now, Nadis are responsible for flowing prana for our physical body, our subtle bodies, and our causal body. We'll go in detail in explaining all these different bodies, but for now, just remember this Nadis as irrigation system in the body. So when you bring water into the whole field or a farm, then you want a proper irrigation system. And if there is a blockage anywhere in the irrigation system, then the water cannot reach all the areas of the farm. So in the same way, if there is a blockage in these nadis, there is 72,000 nadis in the human body, the subtle body. And this blockage could be anywhere from emotional, physical to subtle in nature. But if there is a blockage, then the current, the prana, would not flow all the way to different parts of the body, creating a little dis-ease in the subtle body first, and then it's going to eventually show up in the physical body. So that's why it's very, very important to understand the nature of who we are, not just from your physical perspective, but from all the different bodies we have. See, both Ida and Pingala Nadi spiral around the SUSHUMNA, the middle Nadi, like double helix shape of our DNA. Now, Pingala, which we're talking about in this video, originates at the right side of the bottom of the spine from perineum and ends at the right nostril. And as it's going up, it's crossing each of the major 7 chakras before it gets to your third eye and then ends at your right nostril. This is the second most important Nadi in the system. The first one is SUSHUMNA, then comes Pingala, and then we've already done a video on Ida. This is the second most important Nadi in the system. The first one is SUSHUMNA, then comes Pingala, and then we've already done a video on Ida, the left nostril. Pingala Nadi, the right nostril, dominates, activates the left brain, the logical, decisive aspect of who you are. This is also referred to as the sun breath, the solar breath. See, Ida was called moon breath, if you remember. Now this one is called sun breath. Sun represents the masculine qualities, characteristics of who you are. So all the characteristics which are masculine in nature, logical, being decisive, being physical in nature, are all the aspects of your right nostril breathing. So when you want to activate your left brain, you want to be able to breathe in and breathe out continuously from your right nostril. In the last video, we talked about while our body switches the nostril dominance from your left to the right, and then left, and then right, and then sometimes it's 50-50%, which we'll talk about in the next video, which is both nostril dominant, which is a really good harmony between the left and the right brain when it starts creating a symbiotic relationship. That's the SUSHUMNA Nadi we'll talk about in the next video. But for now, we'll talk about the right nostril. Even if the body switches from the left to right all the time, one tends to be either left brain or right brain. You'll notice that for you specifically, one nostril would be more dominant more often throughout the day and for prolonged periods of time. So if you are somebody who's physical in nature, if your body temperature tends to be higher, your right nostril would be more dominant throughout the day. And in Swara Yoga, they explain this fact that when a kid is born and it takes its first breath, if the breath taken is from your left nostril, then the kid is going to be right brain dominant, because all the right brain neurons are going to develop first. And if the kid takes his first breath from the right nostril, then it's going to be left brain dominant. Fascinating, isn't it? And more we study the Swara Yoga, the science of breath, we realize that the whole process of becoming aware of your breath is to create a balance between the two lobes of your brain through the breath. So when your Ida and Pingala Nadis are both dominant 50-50, then it's going to create a balance in you. So in the last video we talked about how the Ida, the right brain people, are more nurturing, more gentle, more creative in nature. However, it's very important to bring the right nostril into picture, which is the left brain, because although they have a lot of potential, the people who are Ida dominant or right brain dominant, they cannot express that potential unless they harness the power of the right nostril breathing, the left brain. Because even if they have a lot of really great thoughts, they're mental in nature, they won't have the motivation, the drive, the decisiveness to bring these thoughts into a manifestation. So that's why it's very important to be able to first recognize the dominance and then strike a balance between two nostrils, and that we'll talk about in the next video. So certain activities should be performed when your right nostril is active. Let's do another experiment. Bring your right finger, index finger, right underneath your nose and see if your left nostril or right nostril dominant in this moment. If you are right nostril dominant, and if you try to go to sleep, then you'll feel restlessness. You would not be able to sleep because your physical body has too much energy right now. So it's very important to switch the breath to the left nostril if you want to go to sleep and if you want creative lucid dreams. And how do you switch on demand from your right nostril to left nostril? Go watch the previous video. It's called Ida. And also, if you try to eat food, dinner, lunch, while your Ida, left nostril, is dominant, then your digestive system is not fired up. Your metabolism is going to be slow and it's going to create indigestion. That's why they say notice your right nostril, and during the day, most of the time after noon, your right nostril is automatically dominant, and that's the best time to eat food. So what are some other activities which should be performed when your right nostril is on? Any physical activities. If you want to get a lot done in your day, you want to make sure you're breathing in and breathing out of your right nostril. If you want to go to gym and work out, if you want to take a very physical yoga class, you want to switch the nostril to your right nostril. And if you want to relax, you want to meditate, you want to go to sleep, then make sure your Ida, left nostril, is on. Now this switching from your left nostril to right nostril and back and forth should happen automatically when your bodies are aligned with nature. However, in the modern day, we have lost that alignment with nature, and that's why sometimes we have to bring first awareness on where the misalignment is. If you are trying to eat food and your left nostril is dominant, then you want to be able to switch from your left to your right nostril. And same way, if you want to go to sleep when your right nostril is dominant, you want to switch back to the left nostril. While the left and the right nostril dominance happens automatically, let's see what happens when the right nostril stays dominant, the Pingala stays dominant for prolonged period of time during your day. You'll accumulate excess heat in the body. You'll feel restless. You'll feel irritated. So you want to make sure that you switch to your left nostril. So now we'll talk about how you can switch on demand from your left nostril to your right nostril. So this one is called Surya Bhedan Pranayama. In the earlier videos we did Chandra Bhedan Pranayama to activate the moon breath. Now Surya is sun, solar. And how we do this? We again use the right hand and we use the same mudra. It's called Vishnu mudra. So you're gonna breathe in from the right nostril this time. And you're gonna exhale from the left nostril. Next breath, you're gonna breathe in again from the right nostril. Hold. And exhale from the left. Inhale from the right. Hold, which is called kumbhak in Sanskrit. And exhale from the left. So you're essentially breathing in from your right nostril, the nostril you want to activate, and you're breathing out from the left nostril. But if in certain cases, if your right nostril is congested, or if you're not able to breathe, then you can just bring your pinky finger and your ring finger on your left nostril and start breathing in just to clear the nasal cavity on the right side, and then start this Surya Bhedan Pranayama. Surya, sun, Bhedan means piercing, so you're piercing the right nostril to activate the left brain. So what are the characteristics you get when you start breathing in and breathing out of your right nostril? You become more decisive. You have more physical energy in the body. You can take decisions and you can get the task to move. You can get more accomplished in your outside world. In other words, you become more extrovert. On the other hand, on Ida, you become introvert. So all the activities which are gonna benefit from you being extrovert should be done with your right nostril dominance. I'm so glad that you're watching this video right now. If you have any questions, whether on the left nostril or the right nostril, then you can leave them in the comment. And I'm gonna continue to bring you deeper and deeper aspects of Swara Yoga. In the next video, we'll talk about what happens when your left and right nostrils are both balanced. Until then, my name is Abhi and I help you create the life by design. Namaste and peace.